You're listening to The Metal Lens. Life, the universe, and everything from a metal point of view.
Okay.
Yes,
and
sir.
Here we are again, friends.
Hello, buddies.
I'm Troy, and this is Ramon, as always. On a Friday, a very special Friday. A Friday after we gave thanks.
We did, yes.
We got fat and watched football, and typically you watch football games that you don't give a fuck about. But this year, the New Orleans Saints were on Thanksgiving Thursday night football.
I think you mean Nolans.
Yeah, they first time ever that New Orleans were they kicked ass and they ate turkey legs. Yay!
Damn straight.
I don't
They
really give a
took
fuck about
pictures?
football. Not too much.
Whatever. We kicked Atlanta's ass.
Which is always a good thing, because if you don't know it, we don't like Atlanta.
That's right.
It's a rivalry.
That's right. Yeah, doing excellent this year. 10-1, man. We got the division. We got we're gonna. I believe we're gonna have a spot in the playoffs. I believe we're a lot of people believe contenders for the Super Bowl. Which, if we do, or regardless of whether we do, but we make it to the Super Bowl, which
Guess
is in Atlanta.
It's gonna be in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
A black and gold Super Bowl in Atlanta. Yeah.
Delicious.
I hate the fucking Falcons.
Everybody does.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's that.
And today is that also means today is Black Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Consumerism.
We're not doing that.
No. Actually, Nicole and I, she took me out to the Elmwood today. She just happened to want to get a couple tops for work. You know, just like a couple sweaters for work. You
I need
know,
some new tops.
new tops.
Yeah.
Some sweaters to wear to work, and I guess we made out okay because it is Black Friday. But man, it's just it's a consumerist nightmare out there.
Yeah,
I'm not
don't
into
give a
it at
fuck
all.
about that.
Yeah.
Primarily, maybe more of a woman thing. But have you been listening to anything new?
Have I been listening to anything new?
What are you currently spinning, Ramon?
That's an excellent question. Damn it, if I can... Man, I'd be hard pressed to really identify something that I've been listening to because it's just been a hell of a week. Although this week, well, since last couple of weeks have been nuts, at least for work.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I've been really listening to a whole lot, much less anything new.
This is the holiday times. The holidays are upon us, and
All right, yeah. So a lot of Bing
holidays
Crosby.
always brings me back to the classics. I've been spinning some Butchered at Birth,
Yeah,
little Cannibal Corpse,
right on.
Tomb of the Mutilated,
Yeah,
a little Cryptopsy.
okay.
Gets me in the spirit.
Sure. The
Black
Christian
Sabbath,
spirit.
too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been listening. I gotta say, this is heresy. Haven't been listening to a whole lot of music in general, much less
But
anything new.
I do like Christmas music.
Dude, you know what? I tell you what. One of the most relaxing things for me, I'll go ahead and just geek out. And I'm being recorded, and I realize that, you know. One of the nicest things about the holidays is Vince Giraldi,
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Vince Giraldi Trio, him playing that fucking Peanuts holiday jazz stuff. Exactly. Yeah, I love it. It's You know,
It's good shit.
crisp air, a crackling fire, and a whole bunch
A
of
lot
booze.
of people, a lot of people fucking hate it, and it's like
Vince
fucking, it's like a form of torture to listen to Christmas music. I fucking love it.
Well, you know
I
what?
do.
You know what I don't like is
Go
Mariah
get fucked
Carey.
and have a holly jolly Christmas. I don't care.
It's nice though. It's nostalgic, reminiscent.
I love it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Have the most wonderful time in my rear.
Boo 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 boo. So a little bit of metal news.
Yes.
I guess, and yeah, like you know, one excuse after another, man. What the fuck can I tell you? It's been busy at work.
Yeah.
So whatever I heard. Okay, so I don't know if you heard this. I guess Megadeth's putting out a new album.
But
Yeah, and it's.
I think I have heard that actually.
Have you heard that? So the rumor is that it's supposed to be really heavy. Okay, and somebody said that there's blast beats in it, which I don't know what the fuck to make of that. Because I've heard like different people's interpretations of a blast beat, and I don't know. It's kind of pushing it. The definition, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as far as like beats per minute, as far as like how it's actually being used in the song, in the context of the song, you know what I mean? As far as the
Yeah.
actual construction and the arrangement of the beat itself, I don't know. I just
See,
can't see that
That
working.
is pretty interesting because, blast beat is definitely a new thing, because
Relatively.
I always knew it as fucking grind.
Uh-huh.
Let's grind over this part. You tell a drummer to grind over this, and he da 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 da.
Right.
And
Just
then it's like,
blast.
well, yeah, he's pretty good with blast beats. I'm like, I think he's just grinding.
Right.
I don't know what I don't even know what the difference
It's
is.
just semantics. I don't know what the difference is. It's just the name of the beat.
See, I brought up Cannibal Corpse, and you take Cannibal Corpse. Now, Cannibal Corpse had something kind of funny, because it wasn't a blast beat, it wasn't a grind, but it was kind of like
Right.
It was that steady thing. It wasn't a grind.
Yeah,
It wasn't fast enough, but that was the fucking beat that just beat you in the fucking head.
Right.
Tomb of the Mutilated, that was the beat for that whole fucking album. And Butchered at Birth too. It was just
Yeah. Well, okay, so I've done
now
some-
Cryptopsy.
Oh, they're crazy.
That was fucking grind to me. I don't know what the fuck blast.
Was his name Flo?
Yeah.
Flo something or other?
He's still playing, man.
Oh, I know. No. He was in a. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm terrible. He was in a new project with
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard of them,
I wish I could remember who it is. You know. I was just reading about it too. Memory escapes me. One day we'll have the luxury of the internet available for the show.
Wasn't he
I would look it up
originally-
on my phone right now,
But it's
but my
recording
phone is
video.
recording the video.
I think they were from Sweden originally, weren't they?
Who's that?
Cryptopsy.
Cryptopsy?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Your boy Lord Verm,
Lord Verm.
Canadian, huh?
Was he a Canadian?
I doubt he was Canadian. You look this up. I'm going to go ahead and open myself up a nondescript generic beer and share it with our metal listeners.
Okay, well, they're from Quebec.
That's in
I
Canada.
I knew it was a vast land full of snow.
Yeah, well, all right.
Not Sweden, but Quebec.
Fair enough. Not here then.
Canada, yeah.
All right. So, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
those
well,
guys were nuts.
That
And-
makes sense, because you got Flo Monnier,
Yeah.
John Levasseur. So, there you go.
And Lord Worm.
And Lord Verm, well, he's not with them. He not
Well,
long ago.
yeah, but his real name was like Pierre Montreal de Saint-Pierre.
Saint Preux.
The thing is,
I don't have anything against Canadians. I like Canadians.
oh no, I don't have anything against Canadians either.
I want to move there. If shit
Better
goes
healthcare.
south here, man, I'm fucking going north.
All right. No, but there's different. I've read about like the different classifications of the blast beat. and the different variations and stuff like that. And so your boy,
we need the internet so fucking bad.
your boy Paul Maxowitz,
Masakowitz. Whatever, yeah.
He
Cannibal Corpse.
So he's got his own like I don't know, his own style, his way of doing it. And your boy Pete Sandoval from Morbid Angel, he's got his own particular style. The way he does. So Paul, I notice he puts the snare drum on the upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so dun 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 on the click.
Right.
But let's see. So say Pete Sandoval and a lot of other drummers, they put it on the downbeat. So he's starting with the bass drum and hi hat or whatever ride cymbal, whatever, and then following up so that it's or faster than whatever. And just little details, and also the placement of the bass drum, because what Paul does is he'll do let's just say he does like 16th notes with the snare drum and the hi hat, but he'll do 32nd notes with the kick drum. So he's doing double time, and whereas Paul not Paul, Pete Sandoval, he's doing 16th notes. He's just like whatever. I don't know what the word is.
A blast beat is a drum beat that originated in hardcore punk and grindcore.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
It's grind, is what it is.
The whatever
and
that
is often associated with certain styles of extreme metal, namely black metal and death metal, and occasionally in deathcore and metalcore. Oh God, I guess that's the difference.
What?
If it's used in metalcore or hardcore punk, it's blast beats. If it's used in death metal or grindcore, it's grinds, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So now, let's look up grind.
I think it's just a matter of semantics, man. I don't think it...
That's what I'm thinking.
What about Megadeth blast beat?
Yeah, fuck, I mean, that's one thing you got to say about the difference between the two. Metallica went whatever way they did, and Megadeth kind of stayed true. Now, of course, I think it's just Dave and Dave, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it. Well, obviously, Nick Menza passed away a few years ago, and Marty Friedman. I mean, he's always just kind of gotten a different lead guitarist or whatever. Just kind of
was he in like fucking Japan writing video games soundtracks or
something
shit?
Like that. He's probably doing like commercials for Bento at this point. And then it's just Dave and Dave. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Speaking of Dave Ellefson, I think I'm getting a new bass. The Rickenbacker's in there. There's the old Ricky back there. Pain in the ass. They sound great and they feel great, and you gotta fuck with it. You really gotta fuck with it.
I see you took the nameplate off the headstock. Huh?
That's because I'm fucking with it.
There you go. Oh, the truss rod.
Yeah.
Are you still having problems with that truss rod?
No, it's stable, it's fixed, but I just you gotta dial it in just right, because the way the fucking things are set up, the bridge. It's just hard to set up. The bridge, you can't individually adjust each string. It's fucking... It's weird. But what I've been looking at is the Dave Ellefson Signature Series Jackson 5-strings.
No shit.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, my 40-year-old self is impressed that Jackson still exists.
Right.
And
they got a brand new Dave Ellefson
and they
model,
got a brand
baby.
new model. Wow.
Fucking right.
Serious. What's the features that appeal to you?
It's a straight up. They got a neck through body and they got a bolt. I want the bolt on.
You want a bolt on?
Yes,
right.
I do, because you got different. That makes a lot of difference between a neck through and a bolt on. And a neck through I have more sustain, but a bolt on I have a little more punch. Believe it or not. And I've gotten fairly good. I've been setting up my own instruments and other people's instruments for years. I've gotten fairly proficient at it. So really, no matter how fucked up it is when I get it, which it'll be fucked up. With a bolt on, you can shim the neck, you can move it over, you can do different things with it, and I could make it. I could set it up. If you even got a file of frets down and redress them, I could set it up exactly the way the fuck I want to set it up. It's got the Jackson. Well, it depends. If the Dave Ellison has EMGs, I believe, and it's got a 3-band EQ. It's got a blend, and it's a setup that I like. It's got a blend between the two pickups, and it's got one master volume.
Volume and blend. All right.
And a 3-band EQ.
Okay. You don't like pickup volume
No.
knobs. Gotcha.
I don't want a fucking volume for each pickup. I want to blend the two, and when I want to shut the fucking bass off, I want one knob to shut it off.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So,
and a 5-string, huh?
Yeah. I want to go with a 5-string. Just if I'm gonna get another bass to fuck around with, I want a 5-string. I want to fuck around with a 5-string.
Does it come out in, was it just like a black finish?
Most commonly, the Dave Ellison comes into the one he plays himself. It's a silver.
Oh, really?
It's a quicksilver, I guess they call it. But it comes in like black and actually that's what black, white, and silver. There's the only colors I've seen them in.
Okay.
So.
Nice. Which one would you get?
Probably the black.
Right on. There you go.
Just because I'm metal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking at that, and they're not that bad, dude. Brand new. You're probably looking at $650.
Damn. That's good.
Now you can get the it's there's not that much difference, and it's going to be a little bit before I pull a trigger on it. But you got some features like the contours and the way it's cut out and stuff for the Dave Ellison model, And I think the under model is the same bass, the same EQs, but it has Jackson picks up instead of EMGs, and it doesn't have the contoured body. And that you can pick up for like $400.
Okay.
So I might even go that. I might not even get the David Ellison.
Damn, dude. That's pretty for a 5-string.
For a 5-string, yeah.
That's fucking cheap.
It's a Jackson. It's got the nice little, the shark tooth inlays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't looked at Man, I'll tell you, the first time I played a Jackson, oh my God, this was years ago. I don't know. It didn't feel right. I was unimpressed. It had just kind of like a thin, cheap toy kind of feeling to it, and I can't really. It just seemed like if I wasn't careful, I would drop and break the damn thing.
Really?
It just didn't seem. It just seemed, and I can't remember what it was that I played, but and I mean, a lot of people are very happy with their Jacksons, and they got like all kinds of, those Rhodes specials and the soloist models have been just fucking ubiquitous, especially among the fucking metal bands.
When I was thinking about tinkering with a 5-string, it was either I was really gonna go with an ESP.
All right. See,
ESP 5, but I used to have one. And
right, that purple one. Huh?
Yeah, and quite honestly, I kind of struggled. I kind of had to strangle that bass to make it. The fretboard was it was clunky. It was thick. It was clunky, and the way the strings set on the frets, it was just. I like the string spacing, and I like the string spacing on the 5-string. But it was just the neck was just kind of clunky, man. It didn't really, it wasn't a fast neck at all.
See, I enjoyed the ESPs that I had because they felt solid.
Yeah.
I had that Explorer and I had that H200, that Horizon. It was an H200, I think.
Tom Arias played one for 30 years.
Is that an ESP that he plays? Yeah. Right. Yeah, they're good. They're good guitars. Even that
Tom Arias blazing bass lines.
Blazing. Dude, he's the master of open tuning.
Man,
that open E or E flat, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I'm still listening to Slayer. That Decade of Aggression album is fantastic. It's a live album. It came out as a double disc live album.
It's on the list right here.
And
Top metal
you
albums.
listen to like Rain and Blood, you listen to South of Heaven, you listen to Angel of Death, all these songs,
Yep.
and you listen to it on that live album, even War Ensemble. You listen to it on an album, and like the way his vocals were recorded, they don't really. When you hear it on a live album, the shit sounds right. The shit sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It just. Yeah, I mean the guitars are a little weird because it's picking up all the mid range and they're really MIDI and edgy, but you can't really hear the bass anyway.
Nah, that's you need all that to project live, man.
But his voice is so good live. His vocals are so good live, and they sit in the mix really great live, right where I want them to sit live. And it's just that I don't listen to any Slayer albums. I listen to the Slayer songs off of that Decade of Aggression album.
Dude, I mean, they still every few years
still
putting
playing.
out, well, yeah,
They
still
got Paul
playing.
Bostoff back there. They just recorded. They got videos out for the new album. What the fuck is it called? God fears.
Nah, God, it's not God. God hates
Not
us.
God hates us all. It's no, it's something else.
God.
I just fucking listened to it.
Is it about God?
Wait a minute.
God owes me money.
Yeah, it might be Repentless. This says 2015.
That might have been the last album that they put out. I mean, they're not constantly recording anymore.
Yes,
In fact,
it is Repentless.
Is that it?
And because the new guitar player Gary Holt
Uh-huh.
after Jeff died.
Yeah. Dude, get ready for that. We're just gonna see more and more of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple of in the videos. If you haven't checked out the new Slayer videos for Repentless, check those fucking out. I know they've been out for a little while, but it's like a mini series. As they released the videos, it was like a mini series. It was like about this. I only seen him once. It was like a guy. He did something and he went to prison, and then he got out, and it's a story, and each video is a part of the story about this guy.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw one video with the last one, the most recent video that they put out that I saw, and I can't remember the name of the song, but it had a prison scene.
Yeah.
And Danny Trejo was in it, and I don't know if he was like the character, the main character.
Oh, Machete?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's
the videos, yeah.
That scar-faced,
Yeah.
tattooed, badass-looking
His
motherfucker.
favorite shit with him is, what was that that it was a commercial.
Huh.
It was a commercial, I don't even know, it was for Sling. He was doing commercials for Sling TV, and that girl walks up and it's like, she orders a latte or something. She's like, can you put, no, she orders like a double half-calf triple mocha latte fucking white caramel fucking whatever.
Right.
It's like, can you put a heart in the foam? And he looks at her because he's the barista. It's a broken one? How did you know? It's a really good commercial. It's for Sling TV.
For Sling TV.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo.
Yes. He's the barista, and she's some pathetic fucking dumb bitch.
Pretty awesome dude, man.
Yeah.
He's got an inspiring story.
And, so, yeah, I mean, check those Slayer videos out. They're really good. And the songs are good, too.
I'll check them out.
It's typical. To me, it kind of reminds me of Divine Intervention because that was also with Paul Bostoff. And, like, at least the title track, they had some weird songs on there. But the title track, that's just good old classic Slayer. It's what Slayer would do. It's nothing weird. It's nothing strange. Just that one song. There's some strange songs on that album. But like Blockhead or some other ones. But this album, the couple of songs I heard off of Repentless, it's fucking Slayer.
It's hard to
It's
find
good
that
old
nowadays,
classic
man.
Slayer.
You know, I mean, they got bands who have been around for like 20, 30 years. They're putting out new albums, and it's too much is a general statement, but in my opinion, too much of an attempt to reinvent the band.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it's like what Metallica did.
Yeah.
And just
That's always the benchmark.
honestly, they should have just probably fucking retired after the Black Album and just ended it, because after that it was just like a different band. And honestly, you know what? I would have had, now that I'm thinking about it, I would have had way more respect if they would have just said, you know what? Metallica's calling quits. We're going to just rebrand ourselves, call it a different name.
Yes.
Just different name. We're going to do, this is going to be, I don't know, alternative.
The Lars Ulrich.
Because that's pretty much what it is to me. What was
Lars Amal.
Lars Amal. The Lars Ulrich Project.
Yeah.
Featuring James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, and just insert a bass player here.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Robert Trujillo does a good job. I mean,
I don't know.
because a lot of people, there's a lot of going back and forth for years and years about Jason Newsted and how badly he was treated and all this stuff. But you know what? Whenever you see an interview with Jason Newsted, the dude's got nothing but good shit to say.
No, he's a decent dude.
He's a fucking cool dude.
He's not a shit talker.
He never talked about any mistreatment that he had. He never talked about how shitty it was, how poorly he got treated. I don't even know if it's true. I don't even know if Jason Newsted did get treated poorly. Whatever, I don't really give a fuck. But, I mean, he was an okay bassist. I didn't really like his style per se because it was such a contrast from Cliff. But, that's kind of a fucked situation. You can't compare people.
Yeah.
You can't compare. You're not going to replace Cliff Burton, and you're not going to replace the way he played bass. But Trujillo does a good job, and he's a solid player. He comes from Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves.
Yep.
And, he lays it down.
Mm-hmm.
He's a strong bass player, but, what they try and recreate is the way Cliff would go off and solo and do his little fills and leads. Well, not everybody can do that. And quite honestly, when Jason Newsted and even Robert Trujillo, when he tries to do it, you kind of like,
Does he try to do it? I didn't even.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, they do all old songs. They do Orion and fucking.
Well, I
not
mean,
sure if he even did a version of Anesthesia, but For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Right.
And all that stuff. And I mean, quite honestly, when you hear it, when both of them, Jason and Robert, it's like, yeah. You're trying.
Well, all you can
A for
do,
effort, buddy.
No, all you could do is just try to recreate the the original sound.
Yeah,
from
they're
the
doing their
original
job.
recording.
I mean, whatever.
I wouldn't want them to do any more than that. Honestly, I would kind of maybe view it as perhaps an insult to Cliff or to the original whoever actually wrote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're at that point you're kind of riffing off of what they wrote and what they were doing, and I don't know, right or wrong.
You still have to
find that
do it because I mean you
disrespectful.
can't play For Whom the Bell Tolls without Cliff's part.
No, you got to do it, but what I'm saying is don't improvise off of the source material,
Right.
Off
right.
of what was recorded already. All right, because I mean that was
Yeah,
Cliff.
yeah, and I don't know.
Cliff can improvise off of Cliff, but I don't think that Danny Trejo should.
I've heard Robert do it a few times. I think sometimes he tried to improvise off of it. And
Did
it
I
was
say
kinda
Danny
bad.
Trejo? I'm thinking of Danny Trejo again.
Oh.
See,
And-
he
and-
infects my goddamn dreams and nightmares, man. Danny Trejo.
And then I've also seen him do it straight up, and it's just a different. I mean, it depends. Hey, basses are one thing, your instruments are one thing, but and that's the problem with a lot of it too, because you can ask any seasoned guys about this. Like, man, I want to get a fucking SG. I want to get a Gibson SG because I want to sound like Angus Young.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not gonna sound like Angus Young, even if you got a SG, even if you got his entire rig, because you don't play like fucking Angus Young.
I think we just lost the recording.
Oh,
It stopped.
poo.
All right, so the video just cut off
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
That's fine. I look like shit today anyway.
Yeah, all right, fine. Yeah, I know, huh?
But you're not gonna sound like fucking Steve Vai with a fucking Strat and a fucking whatever he played through.
He played
Even down-
Ibanez JEM. That's his.
Strat
Guitar.
copy or
It's a weird guitar.
yeah.
If you ever seen.
Well,
have
whatever.
to see
My point
pictures.
is,
But
even if
anyway,
you
yeah.
had that exact guitar and his exact setup,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna sound like Stevie Ray because you don't fucking play like Stevie Ray.
Oh, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was thinking of Steve Vai.
No. Stevie Ray Vaughan plays Strat.
He played a Strat.
And, I'm not going to sound like Cliff when he used to play a Rickenbacker because his Rickenbacker was fucking totally fucking worked over.
Mm-hmm.
He did not have an original pickup in there.
Mm-hmm.
He had Gibson, the SG basses,
Mm-hmm.
the GB 400s or whatever they are. He had one of those where the neck pickup was. He had a jazz pickup where the treble pickup was. And where the mute is in the bridge, he had a guitar pickup in there that he can activate whenever he wanted.
Oh, shit.
So it was completely done over.
It's like a Frankenstein bass.
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
Franken bass.
Absolutely. But I'm not gonna pick up a Dave Ellefson signature guitar and sound like Dave Ellefson because I don't play like Dave Ellefson.
No, exactly. You don't play like him,
No.
and you're not trying to.
No,
And I don't know.
because
It's a controversial.
I don't use a pick. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a controversial issue, and I know I'm I'm not alone in thinking that, but it's not an absolute thing. But everyone's got their opinions.
No, you're gonna sound like you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you should be doing.
You're gonna sound like you.
You're gonna sound like you.
Mm-hmm. And if the band's okay with that, whatever. I just think Metallica should have just changed their name and become a different band because
No.
I can't stomach.
Yeah,
seeing
but
them play.
there was money to be made. There was plenty of money to be
Well,
made.
yeah, I mean,
And you don't know,
that's
I
kind
mean,
of the accusation there, Troy.
There's plenty.
They
There's
did it
plenty
for
of
the money.
documentaries. There's plenty of I haven't seen them all. I went through a few of them here and there years ago, years and years ago. But I mean, they may have said, well, fuck it, we'll just do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably had fucking record labels or agents going, hey, hang on, guys, we got to milk this fucking turnip for all it's worth.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think after that, and for Justice, they went on that fucking 2.5 year fucking tour, and they made piles of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
And they made piles of money off the Black Album. So it is what it is.
Well, even
Could I say that I would have done something different? Maybe not. Probably not. I'm gonna make what? Bring Britney Spears over here. I'll play for her.
Yeah,
What you gonna pay me? Yeah. Okay.
put her on rhythm guitar.
No, she can go dancing. I'll sit in the back and lay it down. I'll even bob my head a little bit to fucking shitty songs.
That's the there's something about the term selling out. If you're a fucking metalhead and you say that somebody has sold out,
Yeah.
that is, that's like one of the biggest insults ever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Metallica, they sold out.
And that's funny because
such and such
Jason
sold out.
Newsted was I remember this. Jason Newsted was asked that exact question. You know what he said? The question was,
I
how do
know
you
what
feel
you're gonna
about
say.
Jason Newsted selling
I know
out?
what you're gonna
And
say.
Jason Newsted sat and thought for a minute and said, sold out? Yes. Yes, we did. We sold out every stadium of every show we ever fucking played.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
there you have it.
Right.
Now, so let's dig into that. Let's put a lens on this now. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to be metalcore or new metal or fucking whatever, it's got its different varying levels of popularity, which is all low. Now, so here's the thing. If you're in like a fucking doom band and you're into doom like I am, if it ever becomes mainstream, will it continue to be doom? Now, a lot of most of metal and rock and roll throughout the years, and a lot is all counterculture shit. Okay, so it's not supposed to be. There's an argument that it's not supposed to be mainstream. And
Okay.
some of us, I'm not saying us because we're not really in the scene. We've just been playing it locally. But I mean, like you take like your Napalm Deaths and your Brutal Truths and you know all your Suffocations, all your great bands and
Sure.
Cryptopsy and all of those. Almost have a responsibility to keep it out of the mainstream. You don't want it to go mainstream because then it would cease to be what it is.
It would
So munch on those marbles for a minute.
yeah, right. It would cease to be this sort of whatever you want to call it, like this deviation, which is a statement.
Counterculture.
It's counterculture. Exactly. It's a response to and dude, I mean, I think I picked that up or picked up on that on a subconscious subliminal level from the day that I started listening.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
I know these guys aren't fucking doing the radio thing.
Right.
I like that.
Yes.
I'm into that shit. These guys aren't playing the fucking 4/4 AC/DC beat game. These guys are not doing the fucking pop music bullshit. These guys are doing something else. They're doing something different.
Right.
And they're expanding our definition. And when I first listened to Napalm Death, dude, they didn't just expand the definition. They fucking kicked the definition of music in the nuts. I mean, this is my experience. You know, I mean, I'd never heard anything that quite assaulted the definition of music on that level. I mean, I've since listened to like noise bands that are just kind of teetering on the edge of garbage. But I mean, really, to just be able to record, keep a beat, but still just like make something so goddamn brutal sounding and chaotic sounding, and still be able to call it music. I think that was definitely making a statement beyond like the actual sounds that they were producing. You know, it represented a little bit more.
Black sheep, baby.
Yeah.
Black sheep. See, and that was the thing. There's a small. It allured itself to a small percent of us that enjoy watching popular people getting kicked in the nuts.
Right.
And that's what the allure was, and that's what attracted us to it. And so there you go. So if it becomes mainstream, it would not be what it is. So it's almost a responsibility to keep it down under the table and stuff it, keep it. It doesn't need to come back up. It doesn't need to come up. It needs to stay down.
You know what? I can't help but wonder. You know how much of that. Okay, so I will admit that a lot of that is going to be perceived by a lot of people as, you know, almost a cliche anti-establishment way of looking at things. I guess if you look at it from like a socio-political kind of thing.
Yep.
Like I mentioned earlier, I was out with Nicole at a shopping mall center or whatever, and I mean, I wasn't miserable, but I certainly didn't like it. I wasn't into the whole, hey, let's go shopping
I certainly
thing.
didn't like it.
I don't. I don't. No, I just don't like buying shit. You know, if I buy something, it's because I spent my time and energy earning that money,
Well,
and
it's
it's got to
the-
be worth that time and energy.
It's
I
the
don't
shopping aspect. If I'm
It's a
going
lot
to
of
the
things.
store, I know what I want. I'm going there for a specific thing. I found it. I bought it. I'm out.
Exactly. And to be fair, you know what? She was looking for the exact right thing, and when she found it, we got the fuck out of there.
well, that's
So
good.
we weren't just shopping for the sake of like, oh, this is like a pastime. But,
I'd rather take my staple gun to my fucking nutsack.
dude, I mean, I'd totally rather,
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
I'd rather compress my testicles into two dimensions. But I appreciated the fact that, of course, she went into it with a purpose, but I know what you're talking about, and without a doubt, there were plenty of people out there who were like that. There were plenty of people out there who weren't just there because it was Black Friday. There are plenty of people out there who call shopping a recreational activity as opposed to simply getting a need met.
Right.
Now, there's a big fucking difference, dude. Food is a need. You dine out or you make food and you cook or whatever and you eat it because your body needs that sustenance. You don't do it because it's fun. Yeah, we make food enjoyable, right? But as a means to an end, it is fundamentally something to keep our bodies alive.
Yes.
Shopping, don't do that. Shopping is, it's supposed to be, I need a hammer. I go to the store, you walk out, I got a hammer. Done. End of transaction. That's all you have to worry about. But people do buy things to fulfill needs outside of the thing itself. They go out and they browse hammers. They go out and they buy clothes that they don't need. They go out and they upgrade electronics that they already have.
Did you see the hammer Joe fucking bought? Yeah, it's fucking nice, huh?
Joe,
Man.
what?
I'd like to get me one of those fucking hammers.
I never see this hammer. No. Is it made of some kind of
I think he got
new
it over at
space
the
age?
fucking hammer store.
Are you talking
Dude.
about Hammers R Us?
Well, so yeah, the choices, to go browse fucking hammers. It's like, look at this motherfucker.
Well, dude, I bought a double claw hammer the other day.
A double claw?
Yeah, you ever seen one of those? It's got a claw on both ends.
The fuck? What do you hit? What the fuck?
It's nothing but claw.
Hey.
Anyway,
I think they call that a pry bar.
exactly.
Um,
But anyway, long story short, though, I can't help but wonder if you look back at like the hippies of the 60s, or even the beatniks of the 50s and stuff like that, like all these people who are, considered countercultural icons as far as the music goes,
yeah.
and other art forms too, because the beatniks and the hippies, they had all that visual arts
You
and
smelly hippie.
different different media and stuff like that. But I all the metal guys that I listened to had long hair. All of them were like anti-establishment, but and it's so funny to think, thinking back, how much we were painted into the corner of being dangerous.
Well, I could certainly see rock and roll being anti-establishment, but I don't know how much of a difference this really portrays, but I always seen metal as anti-society. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. Maybe it does in my head. But what I was going to bring up was, do you remember when it was, Les Claypool has put out Les Claypool has put out a lot of fucking obscure albums. The Frog Brigade, fucking, whatever. Weird shit, the magnificent fucking...
Yeah, that was
Tulip fucking...
your boy from the Police, the drummer.
Yeah, Stuart Copeland. Yeah.
Stuart Copeland.
Well, shit. Speaking of him, many, many years ago, he put out an album called Anti-Pop. And it had a lot of guests. It had James Hetfield on it. It had a slew of people.
Les Claypool
Yeah.
did this.
It was a Primus album. It was actually a Primus
Oh, it
album.
was a Primus album.
Yeah. Anti-Pop.
I'm not even familiar with that.
He did a lot of covers on it.
Huh.
He covered a lot of songs on it.
Uh-huh.
And when he put that out, I'm like, Anti-Pop. And it was kind of a turd, really.
Huh.
But then I started kind of thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? That dude is the Anti-Pop. He is Anti-Pop.
Uh-huh.
Like Tom Araya might be the Antichrist.
Yeah. Right.
Les Claypool is the Anti-Pop. Everything he does, the way he sings, the way he plays bass, it's anti the normal pro quo. He does shit different.
Well, no doubt. I mean,
He's a weird, strange fucker.
Yeah, he is.
And he is the Anti-Pop. And continuing with Les Claypool, check this fucking shit out. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. But it's Les Claypool and Julian Lennon. Not Julian. The fuck's his name? The Lennon kid. The Les Claypool Lennon Delirium. Sean Lennon.
Sean Lennon.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Julian. Sean Lennon.
Okay.
It's fucking fabulous. It is fucking incredible.
Huh.
The songs, and of course, he sounds like fucking John. He sounds just like fucking. He plays guitar like John. He sings like fucking John. And fucking Les Claypool, they kind of go back and forth. They do some. It's like they kind of do some Beatles songs and some Sean Lennon songs, and they also do some fucking Les Claypool songs. And then they kind of collaborate, and sometimes one of them sings, and the other one backs up, and then they both sing and stuff. It's fucking. He breaks out a fucking upright for a few things. Les Claypool does, and it's. I'm telling you, the guitar work from Sean Lennon is fucking brilliant.
So this is cover songs too, then?
Brilliant. Not all of it.
Not all of it. All right.
But check it out, dude. The Les Claypool Lennon Delirium.
Jeez.
It sounds fucking great.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I forgot who is playing drums. I don't know if it's fucking Herb or not. But
Cricket and the Genie was the second song that we...
Les Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
People of Beantown!
Doing his weird shit. I get something of Sean Lennon singing. It's really good. That's him soloing. He's got the upright bass.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds just like John Lennon. It's got a lot of atmosphere to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really well done. And his little atmospheric guitar shit is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It really surprised the shit out of me.
And so this is a live video right here.
Yeah, this is live.
So these guys got together and they did some touring then.
Yeah.
Wow. I was unfamiliar with them.
I just kind of stumbled across it. I think I was looking at some Les Claypool videos, and fucking great. I was real surprised. It's good. It's quality stuff.
Interesting shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that guy'd be really hard pressed to put out anything that's disappointing. Although he said the anti-pop wasn't exactly all there, but
he has. I mean, some of that Frog Brigade stuff was,
Yeah, wasn't that good?
it was weird. It was just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, he is the fucking anti-pop. He's anti-popular. He's anti whatever popular is going on. He's the exact opposite of it, and he always has been.
So you're gonna have somebody. Whoop, whoop. Ah, yes, lovely.
Sketch.
Yes, indeed. This podcast was brought to you by alcohol. Fuck you. Fuck everyone. Alcohol. So I'm, I'm wondering, like, I'm trying to compare that to, like other art forms, other media formats and stuff like that. Like, okay, who would you consider the anti-pop? This is probably a dumb question. Like, author, who would you consider not you personally? I'm just like, I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, who would be the anti-pop? Painter, or who would be the anti-pop or fucking filmmaker or whatever. Because I mean, they're out there, but they're not necessarily.
Well, that's the thing; they're not necessarily known.
Known.
So going back to metal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be in the mainstream. So you're not going to make fucking a lot of money.
Exposed to it, yeah.
And you're not going to make a lot of money.
Not gonna make a lot of
so
money.
like you look at it's going to be so hard to be in that field of music like we have been, because like, I don't know, I guess the most successful one I could even think of is probably Al from Sleep. And the guitar player, I can't think of his name. The guitar player from Sleep,
all right,
High on Fire guy. Anyway.
So you're saying that
So I mean, he's probably been as successful at underground metal, and I don't, he's probably the most popular. But I mean, that's it. Everybody else is unknown. Completely unknown. And I mean, because I think, like, when you look at, you got some bigger bands coming out of Sweden, like Monolord. And I mean, fuck, Meshuggah's still around.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. It's a strange thing because, I mean, they're not fucking balling with fucking boats and hoes. But, I mean, would they even want to be anyway?
I guess that's kind of not the point, though, because
it's not the point.
It always has been. I mean, the when you're 18 and or 19 or whatever, and you're putting this stuff out, you're always going to say.
The guys from Napalm Death still have day jobs.
Maybe they do, man. I don't know, but
they still have fucking day jobs.
I have no idea. I know Barney is a photojournalist, I think.
They got to go sully on down to the factory and make a good day's wage.
Okay, yeah, and Shane Embry is a chimney sweep.
So, well, yeah, with his head. So,
No, I understand. You're not going to make bank out of it because you're not appealing to the popular majority fucking...
You're not really going to make a comfortable fucking living.
Yeah, man. The problem, the weird awkwardness that I'm experiencing right now talking about this is because I feel like I'm 16 years old, being so like anti-establishment. But the thing is like 25, whatever, 20 some odd years after the fact. I mean, anti-establishment is not always a bad thing. You kind of have to question things, and that's one thing that I value, that I think that I learned from just the music and the culture of music that I grew up into.
Yeah.
Okay, is the ability and even the desire to question things. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what it kind of boils down to anyway. It's not about hating or being anti this, that, or the other, but at least to be able to take a pause and give yourself the space to kind of question things. Okay, yeah, all right. So is this music that I'm hearing on the radio really good? Does it move me? And does it inspire me as an artist the way that music could? Yeah, probably not. And I question that. You know?
Maybe if there was more of us, but it's truly black sheep music for black sheep. I mean, you know, if you didn't question the norm, you wouldn't listen to fucking metal.
No, because it would be too fringy.
You would listen to Carrie Underwood and love it.
That's right. Because
God.
the government told you to.
Ah, fuck me.
I mean, it really is. It comes down to like popular opinion and public opinion, sort of stuff. And it's not that, again, it's not like, at least now, looking back, it might be a different thing, but whatever. But at least now, it's not about being anti that stuff. It's just really about questioning it. Do we really have to live this particular way? Do I really have to ascribe to this particular belief? Do I really have to follow this particular practice
and
just
that's why
because
I think
everybody else does?
Most of us are agnostic anyway. I mean, the agnostic front.
Hey, let's talk about religion. No, just kidding. Fuck that. Hold on. Hey.
That's nice. Doesn't that just make it feel good to hear that?
Yeah.
It makes you feel better to drink it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always been sour grapes as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I shaved
Most
my
of
head in
us
War
were.
Combat boots.
Yep. I'm wearing Docs right now. They're just not very high
Yeah.
because that's murder on my middle-aged ankles.
Right.
Tell you what, though, I've had these for a few years. They're decent shoes, man. Soles are falling apart, but fuck. Leather's in good
I'm
shape.
fucking around with shoes right now. I'm wearing these because I think I got that plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis?
Plantar fajitas.
Yeah, fajitas? Fajitas?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What is that?
That's the tendon between your heel and the ball of your foot.
Okay.
And sometimes it gets inflamed.
Uh.
And it's not incredibly painful. It's aggravating.
Uncomfortable, I'm sure, yeah.
It's uncomfortable,
Okay.
and there's not a whole lot they can do for it.
All right.
But I find if I wear a thicker tennis shoe,
Mm-hmm.
it of course I'm flat-footed too, so that doesn't help.
Gotcha.
So my middle-aged ass is over at Walmart looking at the fucking the corrective inserts, the sole inserts, arch supports.
Arch supports. Right. Yeah, I know.
I need to stand on one of those machines. It'll tell me what I already know.
Isn't that section of Walmart kind of unironically close to the the vinyl the rubber gloves and the walkers
Yes.
and the things
Yeah.
that you put on top of the toilet seats to elevate them
Yeah.
and the bedpans and all that
Yeah.
geriatric shit.
The geriatric
Mm-hmm.
department.
Mm-hmm. We're falling apart, Troy.
Yes, we are.
We're slowly dying.
It's okay, and I mean, considering the abuse I've put myself through, I'm really surprised I'm not in worse shape.
That's a good point.
I mean, I put myself through the fucking ringer.
To hell and back.
Absolutely. You do not fear death when you have a half bottle of whiskey in your hand. So, yeah, anti-pop, anti-society. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
That's right.
Rage Against the Machine. You know, I really... Man, Rage Against the Machine was an interesting band. They wasn't typical metal. I guess they were in the genre, loosely. I guess your boy La Rocca kind of took it
Yeah.
a different way with the kind of almost hip hop type of
Right.
Lyrical style.
Yeah.
But Comerfield, Tim Comerfield, bass player,
Oh.
fantastic. Aurelio on the guitar.
You know, okay. I'll just say that I never really got into them very much, and just didn't really enjoy this stuff.
I kind of got into it for like a minute.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like what was his name? Laraka?
Yeah,
Him and Tom Morello.
Aurelio. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I have no idea who the drummer and the bass player are, because those guys very much got the majority of the attention.
Tim Comerfield is.
Comerfield.
I don't know the drummer's name, but Tim Comerfield was the bass player.
The bass player. All right.
Fantastic tone. Really played to what he needed to do. Mm-hmm. Great bass player. Mm-hmm. Because that's what bass players do. But just that, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and all that stuff. And then, I think it was the second album, or the first, I don't know. There was Evil Empire, and then the other one. I don't know.
No
I think
idea.
the first one with the picture of the Buddhist guy.
Yeah,
setting
the monk
himself-
on fire.
The monk
Yep,
on fire.
Yep.
And think about that for a minute. Let that kind of sink in. That is your choice for album cover, and then you come out with an anthem of "fuck you, won't do what you tell me." It kind of paints its own picture there.
I guess so.
So you explain to me what type of fucking will and what type of mind you have to set yourself on fire over an idea.
I believe that monk was protesting the Vietnam War. He was a Vietnamese monastic.
Set himself on fucking fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Well, he was a Buddhist monk. I mean,
it's still incredible.
Yeah,
I don't care what kind of training you have and how you've been since birth or whatever, but that's pretty incredible.
Well, I think that's also part of the point, because he had to know that would be perceived as incredible in order to make the statement fucking
Right.
effective.
And I mean, count your lucky stars, folks, because most of you don't have to live in a world like that, and it's good to know these things to realize how good you really fucking got it, because you could easily be in those situations, and find yourself desperate, got no other way to prove your point but to set yourself on fucking fire. I mean, Gandhi was a child molesting whatever. But, in Gandhi's time, they would line up. The British, they would line them, the Indians would line up, and the British soldiers would beat them in the fucking heads, and they would walk. They would walk in single file and rows towards them with their hands behind their fucking back, knowing they were going to get smashed in the fucking head. And they just, their head, one's on the side to pull those out the way, and the other ones are just, we're just going to peacefully walk towards you, and we know you're going to bash us in his head, but you can't stop us. You are not going to change our minds no matter how much you beat us in the fucking head. It's not going to change anything. It's a pretty powerful statement, and to be put in a situation to where you're oppressed like that, to where you have to make a point like that, consider yourself lucky, folks. We don't have to live in a fucking... Think how fucked up the United States is, but sometimes you got to take a step back and look at the rest of the world and realize this place isn't really so fucked up. We got it pretty fucking good over here. Try to imagine to live in a city that's been decimated by fucking bombs. that's been fucking bombed and fucking destroyed and ravaged by war.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to live in that.
Mm-hmm.
Just let that sink in for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad being a fucking American. Matter of fact, it's pretty fucking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So, God bless America, and I'm not drinking American right now.
Is it Canadian?
No, it's not Canadian.
God, I wish it was.
It's Scotch, so it's Scottish. It's
Okay.
It's Scotlandish.
Mm.
So is Glenfiddich. That's why they call it Scotch.
Yes, that's true.
Bourbon is our only native spirit.
Ah,
Bourbon is American.
native spirit.
Mm.
That's the name of my new novel. Yeah, so William Goldman died. You heard about that?
William Goldman.
He is the author of Princess Bride.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. It was just this past week.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Have fun storming the castle. My name is Mentigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yep, distilled, matured, and bottled in Scotland by a Scottish family. I have run out of steam.
So have I. As
Mhm.
I. Where are we?
We are just over a hour.
Over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. For winging it.
Yeah, we can call this, I think.
It is called.
Call it.